PLTR going up?
On DPZ, volume mover after hours. Talk of a mistake at Berkshire Hathaway.
That's nothing. That's not even like real news. Questions? Let me go over a few of the things that I know that people are going to ask. So I'll just say this, okay? SPX trading is super duper risky, especially at the end of the day. You have to be fast. You have to have your platform set up with some sort of a price ladder. I recommend that you use limit orders. Do not use market orders. That would be very terrible for you. Especially when we're playing levels, like when we're looking at SPY levels, correlating it to what we think is going to be a flush or a ramp up or something like that. You want to make sure that your orders are out on the book and you get swept up as that flush happens or if that rip happens or whatever. Because sometimes you won't be able to react quick enough in order to get out of those trades. So the question I get a lot is how do you correlate how do you correlate price levels on SPX using SPY? And there's a little bit of magic involved. You have to be a TOS user, but if you look at TOS and you pull up a window, let's say a chart window and you're using the clouds, you're going to be able to put that contract into a chart and correlate it with where the clouds are. Okay, that is like my advice to you is put up an SPX chart, say you want to use a 1 hour or 10-minute or whatever, put your orders in the book on the ladder in limit order on the book and see where it correlates on the clouds. If it's correlating to where your price targets are, then you got the right price. It takes a little bit of maneuvering to figure it out. I've been doing it long enough now. I know about where they are. Sometimes, I have to cancel them and then retweak them. But that's how I do it. That's how I get the price targets that I want. So, for example, when I was looking at SPX, I knew that $1.50 was going to be the spot because I correlated that to the SPX clouds that I was getting on TOS. All right. That's the best way I can explain it to you. When I'm trading SPX, like for example today, why did I pick those particular contracts at that particular time? What we did is we picked the 59.40 SPX puts. We got into them with 30 minutes to go in the day, so it was right around. Let me pull it up and look. My entries, they were like 25 cents and 30 cents. I know they were because I was like, wow, those are really cheap. Yeah, I was right around like 329, 328-ish. Okay. Oh, I don't have my screen up. Sorry. So do I want to just maybe share this? I don't know. Give me 1 minute. I'll show you what I'm talking about with the SPX chart. Yeah, so here you can see this is a 10-minute SPX chart, and you can see the clouds on here, right? So if I change this, 30-minute or whatever, you can see the clouds on there. You get a thing that pops up. Like I don't know if it'll work now because it's after hours, but let's see here. Can I put this in here? What would happen if I put that in there? I don't think it would matter. Okay, so you see how it briefly showed up. It's not going to work now because it's after hours, but you'll get a line on your chart that'll show you where your SPX contracts are going to be located within these clouds. So that's how I do it. That's how I match them up. I don't know about Webull. I don't know about Robinhood. I just simply know about TOS, how I do it with TOS. Now, obviously, with this 59.40 contract, you have to ask yourself why pick that contract? Okay, so I've been saying since this morning, and you can go back and check me on this. So this is the 4 hour. and the 4-hour was barely hanging on this morning. And so when I look at my 4-hour clouds, I go, okay, where can this thing possibly go? And here we have the 3450, so 512's up here, 3450 right here. I knew that our first pit stop would be like right around that 595, and if we started to break that, we could get the lower band of the 3450, which is how I came up with the 592.50 target this morning. You can see those examples. I think I put one in my channel, maybe. Did I? I don't remember. Let me take a look. I put one somewhere. If someone can find it, you can repost it. But that's how we came up with those. I knew that that move was about, say, 35 to 40 points away from where we were. So I saw what SPX was trading at. It was trading at this morning, 59.80-ish, let's call it. And I was like, okay, we can go 40 points. So let me grab these contracts. That's why I initially took those contracts. Like I always say, you should know what the range of the day is, and then you should try to play like half of that range. That's like a little, like a little tip. So if the range is 60 points, you should go 30 points on the call side or on the put side if you're playing a cloud flush or a cloud breakout. Okay. The price ladder. Yeah, the price ladder looks like this. Obviously, it's dead. So, but this is what it looks like. And these are simple click executions. So one click inside those bid and ask boxes sets orders for me. It's very, very easy to do that. Yeah, play half the range on the SPX. Now, I just want to like say it again, guys. SPX, it can be brutal. It's very volatile. Like if you don't even know how to trade, uh, the cloud formations yet. You're still learning how to trade like what are the clouds and how do I use them? Just stay away from SPX. SPX should only be for people that understand the clouds, understand risk, understand how to use limit orders, have their platform set up properly in order to execute quickly because these things move very, very fast. They're very volatile. The basic strategy I use is this. So if I get like a 30-cent entry and I take 50 contracts, let's say, I know my risk is $1,500, which I'm, at the end of the day, I'm willing to put that into some lottos, like 15, 2,000, 3,000 bucks. The first thing I do is I set limit out there for half my position at 100% higher. So if I get entries at 30 cents, I got sells out there at 60. The reason I do that is because at that point I get my money back, right? I'm playing with house money. It's like when I go gamble at the casino and I'm up a couple $1,000, I'll put my money back in my pocket and I'll play with the house money. That's one of my rules. Then after that, I look for targets based on the clouds, which I was explaining earlier. Let's see. So SPY, we had the big SPY breakdown today. Also, too, I noted earlier in the day that we had a 1-hour rejection. That 1-hour rejection was, it was like a beautiful little setup. I was actually like, hey guys, we're going to get a rejection right here. I put a big arrow. This is what it looked like. That rejection, I believe, is right. So it would have been this one, right? Yeah, 11 o'clock. It would have been this one right here. That was a good candle to if you weren't in the puts to get into the puts right there. Anytime I get like a longer time frame rejection going off of 512, it makes me more concentrated on what I think is going to happen. It just really cements my idea on what I think is going to happen. So yeah, use limit orders, don't use market orders. Control your size. I would tell you to have at least 2 contracts. It's hard to do with one. because if you bought one let's say you bought two at 30 cents, you could take one off at 60 cents. Now you have a free contract, and then you could take it off, from there as we hit levels. So I don't think with Robinhood you can trade SPX, by the way. I think they don't allow you to open up contracts there at the end of the day. I could be wrong, but I've heard that before. Somebody was telling me. Any other questions? That's the basics. I mean, I don't want to get into all of it. This isn't like I'm not doing like a webinar, um, talking for like an hour. Gamma squeeze. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm just talking about SPX. SPX. I trade SPX because it has tax implications that are better. Like I know people that trade SPY options. However, if you do trade a cash settled instrument like SPX, you have the 60/40 rule on taxes. That's why I trade SPX, because I don't like paying taxes. Yeah. So that's why I do it. So I use SPY. Somebody asked me like, why do you use SPY chart or why do you use SPY data? Because there's more of it. There's more SPY data, so it's more accurate than me trying to use an SPX chart. So I correlate my SPX trades with my SPY chart. The Tesla play of the morning, yeah, I mean, I talked about it last night if you guys stuck around, I talked for like 30 minutes, and I actually put these arrows. These were from yesterday. I put these arrows here showing where the price targets were, for what would have been today. The first target was 320, and then the second target was 314, 315-ish. Yeah, again, it correlates to the 4-hour. If you look at the 4-hour, here it is right there. How did you get 315? It's literally right there on top of the 3450. See it? That's how I came up with 315. So I knew as soon as we broke through here, 2021 didn't offer really any sort of advantage to Tesla. The other thing too is yesterday the put premium on Tesla was significantly higher than the call premium by about 23%. So I knew it was going to be a down day. I knew they wouldn't have enough gamma to hold it up. So as soon as we broke 512 right here at 325, it was pretty easy to tell that the stock was going to go to 315. And you could see here at the end of the day, it actually went a little lower. So that's how I came up. Again, guys, like with the clouds, I use the 10-minute, the 30-minute, the 1-hour, and the 4-hour. If the 10-minute is completely broken, and by that I mean it's bearish. Like for example, look at this. So here's Tesla. So when I say it's broken, let's go back to the morning. So let's say right in this area, Tesla becomes broken. The 10-minute clouds to me become irrelevant at this point. To find my targets, I have to go out to the 30-minute. So I go out to the 30-minute and I go, okay, here Tesla's broken. Right. Let me go back. Let me put a dot so you can see it. So 10-minute, let's say the 10-minute breaks right here. See how it falls underneath the 512? So then after that, to get my targets, I go to the 30-minute and I go, okay, so here's the 30-minute. The 30-minute's broken. Okay, so then I got to go to the 1-hour to get my targets. So then I go to the 1-hour. So here the 1-hour it was still broken. So guess what? I got to go to the 4-hour and get my targets. So this is when we came up with this right here. So this is when it broke. So the next target in line on the cloud system is right here. That space in between is your air gap, and you can play that. So there you go. That's how I came up with it. Okay. And that's how I use charts. That's why I use all time frames, especially when the 10-minute, 30-minute, and the 1-hour are broken. When they're broken and they're completely bearish, you got to go to the 4-hour to get your next targets. Yes, it means under the clouds. Broken, when I say broken, it means it's under the clouds, right? So you're going, okay, it's bearish, but what are the bearish targets? So you have to keep moving your time frames. Yeah, you use the one that's not broken. So say the 10 minutes broken and the 30 minutes broken, but the 1 hour's not. Then you're going to get your target at the 1 hour. Do you understand? And if the 1 hour's when the 1 hour breaks, you're going to take some off on the 1 hour, but then you're going to shoot for the 4 hour. That's how you get targets. It's the same thing on the upside. It's the same exact thing. The only difference is the 10 hour becomes bullish. The 30-minute, or I'm sorry, the 10-minute becomes bullish. The 30-minute might not be. So you have to look at the 30-minute in order to get your targets, or the 1 hour if the 30 minutes are bullish too. Okay. Yeah, broken means it's under the clouds. It's either under the clouds or on the opposite of that, it's above the clouds. So you can look at Apple. I did not trade Apple today. But like, let's just put a little dot and go, okay, right here at the end of the day. By the way, this is a 4 hour. Let me go to the 10-minute here. Okay, so here, like right here, you see how Apple breaks above the 512? So here's the 512 band, Apple breaks above it. So then the question would be, what are your next targets? Well, then you got to, so mind you, I just put this right here to show where it broke. So let's go to the 30-minute. Let's see if okay, so the 30-minute was bullish too. So then you have to go to an hour. So let's go to the hour. The hour was bullish. So then we have to go to the 4 hour to get targets. And in this case, they're all bullish. So then you'd have to go to the daily. Or you could go like this. And you could say, oh, okay, here it's going to make a proper W is what it's going to do. There's your W. So that becomes your target right there at the end of the day. That's how I do it. You know, that might be incorrect, but that's how I do it. I don't know if that's actual Rip can say if that's what he does or not. I don't know, but that's how I do it. I don't watch ES. I don't watch ES at all. Yeah, it works both ways. It's the same system, except when you're bullish, it's the inverse, right? Yep, no problem. So my advice to you, I'm going to get off the mic here, but my advice to you is first and foremost is if you do not understand the cloud system, you have to become proficient in the cloud system. You have to. Don't even bother about trading options or trading any SPX or futures instrument until you become absolutely really, really good at nailing the cloud system. And I talk to guys on the phone all the time and I tell them, you know, to get your executions down, just do one trade, just do one share. Do one share to prove to yourself that you can get repeatable in the patterns. That's the biggest advice I can give you. Because if you're trading and you don't understand the system that we're using in the room, well then you're not really learning. You're doing yourself a disservice, and Rip talks about it all the time. You actually have to learn this stuff. And I'm just using what Rip basically came up with and teaches to do my SPX trades. That's all I'm doing. It's not magic or anything like that. Yeah, there's a little bit of 29-year wisdom built into that for sure. There's some trader heebie-jeebie sort of stuff that happens, but for the most part, it's the clouds for real. So, all right. How do I enter reversal trades? Always, whether it's like so if I'm short or if I'm in puts, as soon as the 512 reclaim happens, and I talk about this too a lot actually, I'll set my stop at the candle next to it. So like on SPX, actually, let's just go to SPY and let's go to the 10-minute. Let's see, what would be a good example? So say I'm short. I'm short I'm short SPY via some SPX puts, and I take my short here when 512 breaks. Obviously, I have targets down there, so let's assume I took a couple off down here on these targets. But as soon as the 512 reclaims, like right here, that I will get out of this trade, and I'll use the candle next to it. So like 1 or 2 candles next to it. So I'll put my stop right here at the top of that candle. I don't go directly on the cloud, like right here where that line is. I go a little bit above it. My toss template, what do you mean for my layout? You talking about my layout? Other people have it. Who else has my toss template that can put it in chat? There you go. There they are. Thank you, SK Trades. I appreciate that. All right, I'm all done.